to the show where stories unfold.
Let's go.
People doing big things, breaking the mold. They're changing the game, making waves every day.
Big move.
Shining bright with the work that is right.
Shine on.
This is Breaking the Silence with Nikki
Nicole in the building.
Unleash your inner voice and make some
Turn
noise.
up. Welcome to the Breaking the Silence podcast with Arthur and Nikki Nicole. Please make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Tell your cousin, tell your friend, tell your neighbor to come over here and break the silence with Arthur and Nikki Nicole. Welcome to another powerful episode. Sit back and relax. Enjoy the conversation. Welcome to another episode of Breaking the Silence. I'm your host, Arthur Nikki Nicole. Today, we are joined by the incredible Miss Daphney Hilton. She is a multi-award-winning recording artist and a powerhouse in the gospel music industry. She is a native of Miami, Florida. Miss Daphney has made her way in Atlanta, Georgia, y'all, with her ministry and her artistry. She has shared the stage with some amazing gospel big names. I'm not going to tell y'all yet, though. She got to tell y'all all that. Both as the lead and the background vocalist. And her songs have graced 2 independent SAG film soundtracks. Yeah, y'all gotta give her, y'all gotta clap for that now. She is doing amazing things. But I'm not gonna tell y'all everything because I could give y'all all the good stuff, right? But I'm not gonna do that. So after her countdown, please welcome this amazing woman to the platform. How you doing?
Hey y'all. Oh, this is awesome.
How you
I
doing?
love
Thank
it.
you. Thank you so much for accepting my invitation to be a guest on my platform. That means a lot to have your support. So I'm going to start off with tell everybody who is Miss Daphney Hilton, because you know what? You got a bio to blow your mind. So you got to tell them who you are.
Nobody but God. But first, I want to say thank you so much, Nikki, for just request. Oh, this is such an honor. I've been kind of doing my little research as well. And this is a great platform, y'all. My name is Daphney Hilton. I live in Atlanta, Georgia, by way of Miami, Florida. Y'all, I've been singing, of course, everybody says this, all my life. My mom had a group. My dad had a group. My dad actually, they signed with a label. My mom had a record label. We've been in the gospel industry all our lives. If you go to Miami and ask if you know anybody, the Hiltons, they will say, oh, yeah, I know the Hiltons. So I'm really thankful for that. Didn't know that my life was different, because that's all we knew. Every weekend we were somewhere with either my mom and my dad. After my mom and dad divorced, guess what? We were still somewhere either with my mom or my dad. And then when I turned about 13 years old, I started singing with the gospel recording choir, Dwayne Ingram and the Ingram Gospel Singers. And if you know this song, down in my soul, cry holy. They made that song and I was on that CD with them. I was like, yes, Lord. So I'm here in Atlanta. I'm an artist now by myself, not with different choirs. Oh my goodness. I got a single out, The Way You Made Me, getting ready to drop another one. So I'm really excited about that. Let me tell you about Atlanta though. Atlanta, they call this is the Bible Belt. Everybody knows this. And Atlanta gospel scene is really growing. So I've had an opportunity I met some good people here. So I had an opportunity to do some background singing for some great artists. I sang with some great artists as well. But God has called me to write my own music and do my own music. I have shared the stage with some Dorinda Clarks, and I've done some background singing for her, as well as the Vanessa Bell Armstrong. But I've done some background singing for her as well, and Norma Hutchins, and I mean, not a lot of people, but I have been graced. I have been graced with that, so I can't really say that it's not like, oh, just a choir. No, me individually as a background singer. So I wanted to give a shout out to Bishop, no, Elder Derek Starks. He the one that was allowing, give me the opportunity to say, hey, I think you're good at this. You probably should try to get into that. So I thank God for that one.
Now, even though you have the roots in music from your family, I still got to ask this question because it's a different question.
Uh,
When did you fall in love with the microphone?
oh, I had to have been about three, maybe 3 or 4. I remember I had to have been 4. And we went to this church, and my dad then was up there playing. I was just jumping, jumping, jumping. My mom used to put these we call them plaits in Miami. I think they call them braids here, but the individual braids. And I had a head full of barrettes. I don't even think kids even wear barrettes now. But I had these barrettes, and I used to love to just shake my hair. And I used to always, when the bands or the groups would go up, I would run to the front. Boom, 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 boom. So my mom she found me just singing a lot. She noticed me just singing a lot. Have my brush in my hand or my comb in my hand. You know how we do got to make the mic. But let me tell you this, I never wanted to be an artist.
Why?
I never wanted to sing like that. I wanted to be a dancer.
Wow.
I did not want to sing. And God kept calling me. I tried R&B. I was in a studio. I was singing R&B. Oh, God was like, this is not your path. He called me to this because I did not want to do it because I've been in it all my life.
Hmm.
And if you got parents and aunts and uncles and elders telling you you're gonna be the next Star Search, and I was like, I don't want to do that. I want to be a dancer. But God was like, no, you gonna do this. He arrested me to do.
Wow. So did you even dance at all
I
during that?
did.
You did?
I did in high school. I was dancing. Elementary, middle school. I was a dancer. I know how to call. I know all that stuff. I knew all of it, and I just really knew I was gonna be a break dancer. I started learning ballet, and mm-mm, I started. But I love singing in the choirs. I love
Mhm.
singing. So if somebody said, "Come on, Daphne, get in my group," I'm going because I just like to sing for fun.
Right.
But it stopped being fun. I was like, I don't want to do this. Not I don't want to do it for real. I don't want to do it
Right.
for real. I just want to be in the back end. No accountability, no responsibility. Your responsibility is to get that note. That's all I needed. That's
But you
all I
know
wanted
what?
to do.
People don't understand that artists really go through a lot. A lot when it comes down to recording their songs, when it comes down to writing their songs, when it comes through the whole process of doing it. So
Yeah,
who wants to just jump into that type of situation when you really have to put some work in with that?
absolutely. And especially, Nikki, when you've seen it. I've seen it from the rooter to the tutor. I've seen it. I've seen the good and the bad.
Hmm.
I know the good and the bad. I've seen the good and the bad. So for me, that was part of my life. It's like, I don't want to do this. This is not what I want to do. Everybody's doing it. That's not, let me say this. I've always been the one to go against the grain. I'm that middle child
Me
going
too.
against the grain. I don't want to do this. I want to do this. I don't want to do that because they doing it. I'm going to go do this. Always got to be different. Just got to be different.
It's gotta be different. Me too. I'm the middle child too. I'm with you on that. I can really identify with that. Just always doing something different, but they end
Gotta
up
be,
being where you supposed to be in the beginning, but you had to take
absolutely.
another route every time.
Come on, Nikki. That's what I'm talking about.
So, how has your experience been performing alongside these great gospel greats, and how did it shape your music after that?
Well, first of all, it was an honor. And then it showed me, Daphne, you actually can do this. because growing up, we put artists on pedestals way up there. So I'm a fan. I don't care. I'm still a fan. With whoever artist I love, I am a fan. So it showed me, Daphne, you can actually do this. You're on the stage, you're talking to these people, they are pouring into you. They're telling you, oh yeah, just go to the studio. Oh yeah, just do this. I'm like, oh, guess what? You probably can do this. And I never forget what really blessed me with Dorinda Clark. We were sitting in the back waiting to go on. What's this? This was not Woman Without Loose. It was another one. And she said, whatever you do, Daphne, make it back to your church on Sunday mornings. That's what she said. And I was like, wow. She said, I don't care if you have to get the red eye flight out. You need to go get back in where you're serving and where you're being served. And that blessed me. I
Wow.
say, wow, there is a lot of ministry in this.
But you know
And
what?
it's
It's funny you say something about the Clark. I love the Clark sisters. I've watched I can watch that movie multiple times over and over again. But
I know.
people think that people that are in the spiritual realm that we don't go through things. Those are the people that are tried the most.
Come on.
And they went through so much, but they still ended up right where they were supposed to be.
Where you're supposed to be. And also, too, Nikki, we got to be okay with that. We got to be okay with that and not worry about what other people are doing, because your lane is your lane and it's good things in that lane, but you got to keep going. Every level gets better and better, but you can't veer to somebody else's lane because you think that grass is greener on the other side.
Mhm.
Be okay with it.
Be okay with it. But I
Be
say all the
okay with
time
it.
that, everything in your life is either a test or it's a trial and error. You got to try something out to see where it's going to go. You're going to go
Mhm.
through a test. As children, we go through tests in school to evolve to the next level.
Yeah.
So life is the same way. You got to go through something to get through something. You got to use those pathways and those journeys, those good and the bad, got to
Come
come
on.
together to make something great. But
Got to make some
people
great.
don't embrace the fact that you're going through something. You went
Mhm.
through that for a reason.
Mhm.
Now that person ain't your friend because you went through this. You know how to move
Mhm.
differently in friendships and relationships and different things in your life because you went through that.
Absolutely.
But I say,
Absolutely.
I tell my children all the time, you got to go through something. Like, what if we did live in a world
Yeah.
where you didn't go through something? Then how would it be? It wouldn't be good. You got
It's
to go through something.
delusional.
You got to go through something.
It's delusional. Think about it. It's like, oh, we don't hurt. Oh, we don't cry. It's delusional. We have to understand the emotions that God has placed in us and be healthy about it, but
Hmm.
understand it and embrace every bit of it. That's
Exactly.
what makes us a creative person. God is a
Now,
creative God, and that's what makes us a
mhm.
colorful person.
Hmm. So, how has your faith changed on this journey? You said you wanted to be a dancer, and then you end up being a singer. How has faith played a role in that in your journey to being a recording artist in the gospel industry?
God, He just, when I tell you I love the Lord, I'll never forget. I've been trying to get this project out 2012. And I told my brother, my youngest brother, I said, I don't think I'm supposed to do this. He was like, girl, yes, you do. I got somebody for you. Because I done been through several producers. And they weren't trying to produce. They was trying to do other stuff. They weren't trying to produce. So I told my youngest brother, because he lives here in Atlanta with me. He was like, girl, I got somebody. I said, I'm done. I don't want to do it. He said, Daphne, I promise you, he good. He good. He's straight up. He gonna treat you right. I had a Honda Accord and I had a window. Sometimes the window gets stuck, right? My window was stuck down and it was real cold outside. And I called my brother. I said, my window won't go up. That's the sign. God said, don't do it. He said, that ain't no sign. God did not tell you not to do it. You better wrap yourself up in a blanket and take your butt over there, right? I said, all right, let me just at least see what he got to say. I wrapped myself up in a blanket, riding over there with that window down. That window down. Girl, the window was down. And time I got to his house, the window came up. I'm not kidding. And I said, okay, Lord, you got jokes now because
Oh
we
yeah.
tripping. We tripping now. So when I went in and he charged me half of what all of the other ones were trying to stick me with. And I knew then, I said, okay, God, I'm supposed to be doing this. And every time we would sing the songs and record the songs, God moved. We be in there speaking in tongues. Oh, God, I love you so much. Me and him, the producer and me going in. I knew that was God.
Man,
That's
you
the
know,
first
faith is
project praise
something.
track. Yeah.
Faith
And
is
even,
something.
but even now, Nikki, sometimes your faith is shaken. It's like, well, Lord, they doing all of this, but I'm doing this.
Mm-hmm.
Well, God, I thought you said I was gonna be, but he said,
Not your
I
time.
didn't tell you that specific thing. Stay put what you supposed to be doing. Because my
Mhm.
faith gets shaken a lot now. It's like, oh Lord. And even when I can be transparent, even when even when the doctors thought they saw, oh, we think we see something on your liver.
Oh,
Oh, we think we see something on your pancreas. So you know me, I'm like, oh Lord, what is it, Jesus? What, Lord, why? I just started doing this. And oh God, what am I gonna tell my kids? And how am I finish? All kind of stuff. I told my pastor, he said, oh, he said, let's pray this out right now. We prayed, and he said, if it is something, it's shriveling up. He said,
mm,
but we claiming that it ain't nothing. Then my business partner, she prayed. One of my friends prayed, told my daddy. My daddy's like, ain't nothing, it ain't nothing. Because they couldn't say what it was. So it evidently wasn't nothing. I'll
nothing.
never forget my last I guess test. And I was in the little getting the MRI thing. I think it was CT scan or MRI, one of them, probably a CT scan. And the lady asked me, she said, well, what music you want to hear? And I said, Kurt Franklin. And she said, she was looking at her, she said, we can't find Kurt Franklin. I said, what about Maverick City? I said, play that one. So Your Goodness and Mercy was playing. And she said, I never heard of them before. I like them. Wow, what's their name again? Mind you, because they want you to listen to something positive. So she
Mhm.
told me, she said, well, why did you come in here? I said, because they said they saw something. And she said, well, I took as many pictures as I could, and I just pray they find something. She said, because I want them to, that's what she said. She said I took as many pictures as I could. She said, well, I hope they find something. I said, God. But I woke up that morning, Nikki, and I heard God say, you ain't got nothing. I heard him say that. You ain't got nothing. And my results came back. You don't have nothing.
Wow. But see, you know what? My kids don't believe me when I tell the story. I know they don't. It's so many times in your life when you go through something, you know it was God like nobody else. I said, and you will face those
Oh,
moments where you know it wasn't your mama, your daddy, your sister, your brother. You know it was him. He's gonna let you know that it was him that brought you out.
come on. I
I've
don't tell
been
it
there,
to
and it's
God.
amazing.
But the Bible says, um, people are going to be delivered by your testimony. So I don't testify that one a lot unless the Lord say share it. And I felt like I needed to share that today because I don't care what nobody say, Nikki. When I tell you God is so real, and it be messing me up because I be like, man, God, why am I tripping so much? I trip all the time because I think I'm in my head all the time. I'm a
Mhm.
thinker, and I'm a overthinker all the time.
Me
Man,
too.
it's be going. I'm like, oh Lord, help me, Jesus, all the time. And he said, didn't I say? And then he'll bring me a word. I'm like, okay, why am I reading this word? Boom, there you go. That's why you're reading the word.
But see, I
Mm,
was there too. I was there with you too because I was sitting here thinking, I was like, why everybody around me has merch right now? I ain't got no merch. And so then, something came to me and say, your progress is your progress. Sometimes slow progress is
It's,
still
it's
progress.
the best progress.
You're not gonna get there when everybody else get there, but when you get there, you're gonna get
You
there.
get there.
So everything in
When
your
you get
life,
there,
we have a path, we have a map, we have a roadmap of our lives. but we don't know where it's going. We just know that God already put a destination in. We just got to get there.
Come on.
We just got to get there. And we got
Come
to trust
on.
him along the way. But half the time we get
Absolutely.
discouraged. We get discouraged in our own lives and we get in our own head and our own thoughts. I'm an overthinker too. I would
Mm.
think things all the way to the end of time.
Girl, we be
And,
all the way down the rabbit hole.
oh, they done talk
Oh, we
myself
still
out
out.
of it. Googled it at all, and now I'm sick of something. You start opening up Google, like, Lord, I got this, and I ain't got nothing.
I got this. It say right here.
I ain't
And
got
we trying to
nothing.
climb out the rabbit hole like, Lord help me, Jesus.
It's true every time. So, we gotta just trust the process. I say that a lot. Trust the process, because your path
Yeah,
ain't like everybody else's path. Your journey is not like their journey. You may go through
absolutely.
nothing. They may go through everything to get there. You don't know what people go through to
Absolutely.
get where they're going, or what they got to give up, or what they got to do. So
I
I'm
love it.
gonna play a snippet of your song for them so they can hear your song, and after that we'll be
Okay.
back. All right.
I'm going to live the way you made me. Live the way you made me. I will live the way you made me.
Now you gotta tell me the meaning behind the song, because the title in itself is powerful to me. So tell me, what was the beginnings of that song and why you wrote that song?
Low self-esteem. It was low self-esteem because relationally, I just kept making these bad choices. I was like, man, how I get in this? Well, how did I get in this? And these are people all in the church. And I'm thinking, okay, God, we in the church. And then I put all myself in my music and it just wasn't going the way I thought it should go. I'm jumping and bumping and jumping. And every time somebody say, come, 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 I'm like, yeah, 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 yeah. And, I'm broke. Kids, and we ain't got no food. And I'm spending all this money and trying to do all this, what I think that the Lord said do. And he did not even say that. He said, seek him first. And, and he said, serve the least of these. He didn't tell me to run, run, run. He said that he's going to direct my path. So I was going through and I just had this, I didn't feel good about me. And I never forget, and I still cannot find this scripture. I listen to the Bible when I go to bed at night, just press play. And I could have sworn I heard Joshua say, um, I desire that you live the way God made you. I could have sworn I heard that. And I popped up. I said, oh my God. So I start walking in that. I don't care what other people say. I'm living the way he made me, because if he want me to change, he'll change me. Now I hear the voice of the Lord that he'll say, now you were wrong. Or he'll say, don't go that route. I hear the voice of the Lord telling me. So that's how he made me. But if he ain't say don't do, you ain't got no hell heaven to put me in. I'm going to live the way God made me. And the second verse, I wrote that song in I wrote the first verse and the hook 15 minutes, about 15 minutes.
Wow.
That second verse got me. Take the load off my shoulder, satisfy me with your word, God, because your hand is on me. And I'm not going to fear because I know your hand is on my life. That thing tore me up. I would write it, throw it in the garbage, right? I said, this is not right. This is not right. Take the load off my shoulder. Why do we feel like we have to carry this load? Why do we feel like we have to carry this load? He told us to take on his. because his yoke is easy and the burden is light. Why we feel like we got this heavy load of whatever we think it is, because we're trying to live, because what society say, we got to look like this, we got to be like this.
Mhm.
You know, me cutting my hair, oh, they was tripping when I cut my hair.
Wow.
They was tripping because I cut my hair. I said, I don't want to do that. This what I like, and I be hot, so I want to wear my hair short. I be hot, and I like it blonde. So this me now, and I'm gonna live the way God made me and embrace all of me.
Wow. You know what? That's a powerful song. I didn't make it to the second verse. 'Cause you got me. I said, wait a minute. I went to wait, she that can make you really emotional because especially if you come
Absolutely.
from a time where you did have low self-esteem. When you said that, you hit it on the knot. If you come from a place where you had low self-esteem and you didn't believe in yourself, you didn't think you was good enough, you hit that on the knot because when I thought about the title, I was like, the way he made me. Wait a minute. That she owned to something. She owned to something with that because a lot of us don't. We
Mm-mm.
live the way society wants us to live. We step into what they want us to do. They want a skinny girl that we skinny. They want, you know what I'm saying? Everything they want us to do,
Long hair,
we
you know,
do
they
it.
did, they did. Y'all can
And
have
I
that.
and I had this conversation all the time with some of my fellow podcasters. I'm like, you know what? If you do it right the first time, authentically, then you don't have to
Oh,
worry about changing later and shift it into the real you. If you're
come
just
on,
real you from the beginning,
real you from the beginning.
it's gonna be hard if you're trying to you being somebody in the beginning, you being somebody else in the beginning, and then now all of a sudden you want to change back to you. Now the world
Yeah,
you should have been you from the beginning. Oh my god.
it's,
But
but
that's
it's
all.
so true.
The way you made me, if people really
Yeah,
focus on the way God made them and step into the person they but you know what? That comes from people not knowing who they are too.
absolutely,
If you don't know who you are, you
absolutely.
don't know who God created and what we doing.
When he created you, he created man. He told man, he said, when he created man, it was good. That's all that. That's it for me.
That's it.
I'm
That's
good.
it. That's it.
What else?
So now you have another accomplishment where it was the Gospel Choice Music
Mhm.
Award. Now, how did that feel to get that in 2019?
I was so shocked. Well, it used to be Atlanta Choice Awards, Atlanta Gospel
Mm,
Choice Awards. And when I moved to Atlanta, and I said, oh, I'm gonna go to this. I don't know anything about it. So I went, I said, well, I want to do this one day. Never thought. So the owner retired and gave it over to our new CEO, Jeffrey Holmes. And I got nominated. And let me tell you how God worked though. I told them I'm going to do jazz, y'all, just because I never thought I would get any of the other categories. I said, just keep voting for me in jazz. So when we sitting there, they calling everybody's name, and this lady won jazz. I'm like, so my feelings was hurt. I was like, oh, I'm not going to get nothing in because I didn't push nothing else. They said the last category and the artist of the year is Daphney Hilton. And I'm just sitting there like this. And my daughter's, mommy, mommy. And I'm just sitting there like, they just called my name. And my daughter say, mommy. And I was like, oh my God. I ran up there. I was like, oh my God. Had no clue. Let me tell you how God worked though. Remember how he talked about how the 10 lepers got healed
mhm,
and only one came back?
mhm.
I'm the one that went back. Now I'm on the board for Gospel Choice Music Awards. I'm the only
Wow.
one that went back.
But you know
I
what's for
told
you is for you.
I want to serve this. I mean, it was so professional, so good, and it's growing. And I'm so thankful for being the artist of the year, not female artist, not male artist, but the artist of the year. That was the highest award that night. And God blessed me with it.
Wow. And unexpectedly.
Girl, I was
You
sitting there
think
like
you gonna
this.
get the jazz award.
I knew I
You
was
took
getting,
it
I
all.
knew I was getting that jazz award.
God said, I'm gonna show her. I'm gonna
Love
show
him.
her.
Oh
I
my
love
goodness.
him because we shoot for this, and God be shooting for this, and we shoot for this. And I'm like, Lord, why do I keep doing this?
He already knew. He knew who he created. But we don't know. We oftentimes, just look at ourselves as not on that level. We're always underestimating our potentials. And
Hmm.
that's just human though. It's human, but God already has a bigger plan. And sometimes it blows our minds like, wait a minute, me?
Right.
You chose me.
Me? There's a
And what
big
do you
event. There's a
really?
big there's a big event here. Wednesday wind down. I'm quite sure a lot of the other cities have them. And I was the only gospel artist to open up with
Mm.
Kiki Wyatt, Angie Stone, SWV. I was the only gospel artist. And I'm sitting here like, Lord, why am I here? That
Wow.
was crazy. And they treated me like SWV, Angie Stone. Well, Angie didn't make it. She didn't make it. She was sick. But she was on the card. But they treated me like Kiki Wyatt, Angie Stone. I was
Nice.
sitting there like, oh my God, SWV. I'm like, oh Jesus.
Wow.
I said, what I supposed to do? I had my own trailer. Had my food catered. My kids was in there because my daughter sing background for me. And my
Okay.
brother and sister-in-law, they sing background for me sometimes. My daughter's in there doing her homework. I said, oh my God, Lord, this how they do it?
Mm.
This how they do it?
Wow.
That's
Now
crazy.
now your song and Miss Calandra Gant song, I Made It.
Uh-huh.
Mm. Those songs right there will take you there. It reminds me of those old, you remember like the old hymnals that you listened to back in the day, like Amazing Grace and those
Hmm.
type of hymns. When I was
Hmm.
coming up, I didn't know what these hymns meant. I'm
But
just
now
like, mama taking me to church, and I gotta sing on the choir, I gotta usher, I gotta go everywhere to revival, unions, and all this kind of stuff. And we gotta sing these hymns because I'm Baptist.
me too.
But when I
Me
got
too. In
became an
charge.
when I became an adult and started lifing, as they say, you go back and listen to those songs going up yonder, and you start understanding what all these songs meant and why your mother and your parents try to put you in and still. I tell my mama every day, thank you for introducing me
Absolutely.
to God.
Absolutely.
Because it was moments where it was just
Absolutely.
me and him looking at each other. That's all I had was God. So I said, thank you, because he brought me out a lot of things I didn't see my way. I didn't see that. I was blind for real. I didn't see that.
Mhm. No, really. Like literally, like, wow, God, you've been here all this time. Looking
Mhm.
back over your life and seeing his hand. Now
In
you
the
can look back
shadows.
over your life and saw his hand on you.
In the shadows. I did an episode about he was in the shadows the whole time. I was
Oh, I
talking about.
love
I was.
that.
I introduced it like it was a somebody I was dating, and
Uh-huh.
so they didn't know in the beginning. That's what I was talking about. I was, when I
Oh,
met
I love
him
that.
and this happened, and I didn't notice him. He was always following me and stalking me and da da da. I said, and I look back. I'm like, what you doing? Why you on my heels? I said, but you know what? That whole time, I didn't realize until I actually went through something that he was there
Mm,
the whole time following my
mm,
journey, and he showed up just at the
mhm,
right time. So I'm
mhm.
glad he was in the shadows behind me, following me the whole time, because had he had not, he couldn't have saved me.
I love the Lord.
Couldn't save
I
me.
love the Lord. So was that a poem or a play? Was that like a poem, like spoken word that you did? He in the shadows.
No, I did an actual episode I released on my YouTube channel.
Oh,
My
I'm
mom
gonna have
sends
to
me
watch
these.
that.
I don't know if you ever heard of the Daily Bread.
Mm-hmm.
My mom sends me that every quarter when they come out, and I read
Uh,
those a lot.
me too.
And when I got that I was reading something in there that led me to do that short snippet of an episode. I just had to do it. I was doing Sunday motivation, is what I was doing at first. I
Oh,
was
I
doing
need
a
to
little
go
bit
back
of
and
Sunday
look at
motivation.
that.
And I
I
told my mom I did the episode. She said, "What?" She said, "Oh my goodness." She said, "Mom," I said, "Mama, listen, thank you. I'm gonna keep telling you thank you." because I be needing that sometimes. You listen, when you don't have a friend in the world, you got God.
Come on.
I told somebody, I told him like, you my homeboy. Hey, what's up, God? You already know what's going on. So listen, we got to talk about this. You
Let
got
me
to
talk it out. Right.
let's
Let me, because you already know. So can I talk it through?
can we talk about this because I need to know
Mhm.
what we doing here. What you want me to do next? Is this the right thing for me to do? Is this the right step? You have to do that sometimes. You have to bring yourself to Jesus and have that moment with him and say, listen, you got to
Come
tell
on.
me something. You got to tell me
Come
something.
on. And we just got to keep that ear open. I wrote a song that says, I open up my heart so I can hear.
Mm.
Lord, I open up my heart so I can hear, because God speaks to the heart and God deals with the heart. So, Lord, I open it. And the Bible says, out of the abundance of the heart, this speaks. So it's here. So I said, Lord, open up my heart so I can hear you. So
Wow.
speak to this.
That's going to go over somebody's head. That's going to go over somebody's head. Oh, man. But I got you. Somebody said that went over somebody's head, but I got you.
I love the
so,
Lord.
so let's talk about your nonprofit, Daddy's Girls of Destiny. How did that start? I love
Oh my
nonprofits. I love
goodness,
nonprofits. I got to know about this.
you love it. Aw. So we're on hold because my daughters are grown. I have one is married, 26. One is finishing college in the fall. She's 21. But they said, Mom, we gotta open it back up. I said, I know, but I'm waiting on you guys. So it started with my oldest daughter, third grade. Um, they changed when they turned 8. Something with that 8-year-old thing. Mama, I don't want my hair like that no more. I want my hair like this. And Mama, I want to wear some mud jeans. And I don't want to wear this. I want to wear these. I'm like, what is going on, my child? I was over a children's choir at the time. I was the director. And I would hear these parents would come and talk to me, Daphne, what's going on? Are you having this issue with your child? I'm like, girl, it's something about this 8-year-old. It's something about turning 8, going to the third grade. If you really think about it, first and second, kindergarten introduction, first introduction, second is reinforcement, third is new introduction. We know it even in school. So I said, man, there's something's going on. So I one day I just had my daughter and her friends over. I said, just invite some of the girls over, the parents. So we just talking. They was playing, having a good time. We just talking about them because I did not know what to do. We was like, what in the world going on? I'll never forget. I woke up in the wee hours of the night. God said, Daddy's Girls of Destiny. I got my piece of paper and I started writing it down just like that. And I called two of the parents. I say, hey, God said I need to have a group called Daddy's Girls of Destiny, and I need two parents to help me. Them two parents helped me. We started having girls. We did a coming out for them, about 25 girls, and almost like a debutante. And we had a coming out. And the reason we did Daddy's Girls Destiny, I'm going to tell you why. A lot of times, daughters or girls have issues with their father.
Mhm,
And their father can be in the house and they're not seen.
mhm,
Or their father can be even in the house and they feel like they have to conform.
mhm.
Some girls don't have fathers in the house. So it's still a void there.
Right.
So God showed me that because I'm divorced. I have two girls, I'm divorced. Me and their dad co-parent. So they dad been in their life and I told me you ain't going nowhere now. We divorced. You gotta stay here. Not with me, but you gotta stay in Atlanta to be in their life.
Right.
So um I saw things in my daughter. She started liking these little boys, and I'm like, wait a minute now. So I felt like you can have God as your father, and those things that you cannot talk to your father, or you feel like your father's not giving you, you can always write it to your heavenly father and
Mhm.
allow him to work on your father.
Right.
And if your father's not in your life, that is a way for you to release what you got going on in your heart with your daddy. I'm a
Mhm.
daddy's girl, hands down. And my daddy, he didn't even tell me he loved me. He'd say, likewise. That's that
Mhm.
old school.
Mhm.
Likewise. But I want to hear, I love you too, sweetie. I
Right.
was 42 years old when my daddy said, I love you too. Talk to you later. Bye. I stopped on the side of the road and boo-hoo cried like a little girl
Wow.
because I needed to hear that. And when I heard that and he started telling me that all the time, my life started changing.
Wow.
How I saw men and how I interacted with men and my standards started to change.
Wow.
So that Daddy's Girls of Destiny, it was all about the girls and a good relationship with God and a good relationship with their father, even if their father was a bum. It ain't got nothing to
Right.
do with your daddy. It got something to do with you. And God showed me that. And I know I ain't go to no school for that. I didn't go to nobody's school for that. It's like, I know God showed me this. And I noticed that as the girls would write, we would have these crying sessions. They would write these letters, and one parent, she said, I don't care what you say. She not going to see her daddy. I don't want him in her life. I understand that because we never know what was the dynamics of that relationship. But allow her to write the letters
Mm-hmm.
because she needs to write. She need to write it out or give her a space to talk. My girls, we have immunity. I think I said that right. Sessions. Say what you got to say. I ain't gonna be mad. I ain't even gonna nothing. Just say what you got to say. But after the day, don't come with me with that.
I know that's right.
Then I'm mama again. Then I'm mama again. But today, let's talk about it. However you want, just don't disrespect me. And I had to do that because a lot of times I'm a youth leader. I'm a actually youth minister. So a lot of times our young people don't have a safe space to just be
Right.
heard.
Right.
Be heard. One little girl, her mama didn't want her to say nothing. I'm like, you got to give her a space to say something. We realized that child was gifted, talented, but the mom ain't want to hear what you got to say. She a child. She don't know nothing. She know a lot because you don't know what they're learning in school.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the era of the cell phones. They
Yes.
started to get these little cell phones. I'm like, oh my God, my little girl, my daughter had a cell phone where it wasn't even no cell phone. She going to text me her daddy.
Oh my God.
It's a rough girl. It was a mess. But we had to really, so Daddy's Girls of Destiny. When I tell you that nonprofit was blessed seeing these girls, and you can see the esteem building.
Right.
You can see them, the confidence, because even if he not around, it's not your fault.
Mm-hmm.
Even if daddy is in the house and he ain't saying two words to you, it's not your fault. Daddy got issues. Daddy got things going on with him. But you got a heavenly father that you can pray to and
Mm-hmm.
say, God, I'm praying for my daddy. My daughters told me about a couple of weeks ago, Mama, I see our prayers starting to happen with daddy. Do you know how long my babies been praying for their daddy?
Wow.
Because
How
I
long?
pray for him. They've been praying for him since Daddy's Girls of Destiny. My baby,
Wow.
26 years old. So it have to have been about what, 18, 17 years? And my
Wow.
other baby, 21. When she learned how to pray, she started praying for her daddy. Now he's talking about God. He's talking about church because
Nice.
I couldn't do it.
Nice. But we come from an era where children would be seen but not heard.
But not heard.
And that's then people where they want to push it on the road. But it's the truth.
It's
Like
the
you
truth.
couldn't say what you wanted to say. You couldn't tell your parents how you felt
Yeah.
because it would come off as disrespectful.
Just the fact that you said, I'm going to do it. You talking back? I know I'm just saying I'm going to do it.
I'm just saying.
Pop, you talking back.
So, but now, the villages don't even exist no more because I used to have villages. When I say villages, the church dealt with me if they saw me in the streets doing something crazy. The school dealt with me if they saw me doing something crazy. And at the same time, they went back and told my mama on top
Mhm.
of that. And they need to
Absolutely.
lay hands, they can lay hands on me too.
And the
So we don't
neighborhood.
have that now. These parents get mad now. You better
Yeah,
not
you
say
can't
nothing
say
about their
nothing.
child.
Ain't say nothing. But I'm telling that Daddy's Girls, that is destiny. So we're on hold, excuse me, until the beginning of the year. We're on hold. I'll still be a silent advisor, but I won't be the face of it this time. But I'll be the advisor behind it because I keep too many parents are asking me, when are you going to launch this Daddy's Girls of Destiny again?
You need it.
So I told my daughters that's a mandate in the earth that this got to be done.
Got to be. Got to
Got to
be.
be
It's
done.
come. So I'm down to my last two questions. These are out of the box questions. I like to throw these in and make you think. So if you had the power to instantly change one thing about the music industry, what would it be and how would it impact artists that are trying to come up?
For me, I think truly making the playing ground leveled, making it level. There should not be any gatekeepers, but we got gatekeepers. So you got these indie artists, you got indie artists and A-list artists, and some A-list artists don't even want to be an A-list artist, but they know they have to be because the gatekeepers say, if you do this, you get this. If you do this, you get this. And I think that if they just really make the playing ground leveled, that everybody will have an opportunity to actually have a fair opportunity to make the charts, to get on those platforms. Because you got artists that can, I hope I can say this, that can out sing some of these A-list artists and anointed, but they only can go so far because either financially, they don't know the right people.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's coming at them. Maybe they don't have the full package because our package now is all about the looks,
Yeah.
the weight, the gimmick. It's like, oh my goodness, what about just being anointed and flatfoot singing?
Mm-hmm.
The riffs or the made up riffs or the riffs that you learned because somebody taught you how to do the riffs. Just make the playing ground level. So it'll be easy, breezy, sweatless victories.
Yeah. Music industry right now is a mess, though. It really is. It's a mess,
Yeah,
a whole hot mess.
it
But
is.
that's another episode for another day.
I know, right?
So, last question before we get to the who said it game. If you could have a conversation with your younger self, just starting out this music career, what piece of advice would you give yourself that could probably change your journey?
Do you? Just do you, Daphne. Do you, girl, because you got it. Just do you. Stop tripping. Get out your head. Just do you.
Those
Mhm.
two words right there is powerful. Do you? But
Just do you.
fear hold everybody back though. Fear,
Every time.
I know it held me back, but fear is
Every
stronger
time.
than you sometimes. You
Every
know.
time. It's paralyzing. It's
Well, shut
paralyzing.
you down. Shut you down. All
Yep.
right. So the name of this game, I decided to put some different segments in. It's called Who Said It. I'm gonna start easy with you. So the first
Please.
one gonna be
Please.
the first one gonna be Who Said It. Still I rise.
Oh, Maya Angelou.
Yep. You're right. You're right. All right. So next, Who Said
Oh, Lord.
It? I too sing America.
Sing America? I never heard of that one before.
Langston Hughes.
He did say that. Oh, you doing it this way. Okay. Now I see where we're going.
Last one. Who said, if you want to fly, you have to give up the things that weigh you down?
I don't know, but I think Michelle Obama said just got fly higher. Who said it? Because I don't know. Oh, Toni Morrison.
I
Oh,
like
she
that too.
all deep and stuff. She all deep.
I
I
had
know
to
who
get to
Toni
that last
Morrison is. I wish I would have known they quote. She all deep.
one. All right. So
I could have did my homework if you could have. I would have known that.
I had to throw you. I had to throw you off. Yeah, that was good with those. So now this is your moment to let everybody know how to follow your journey, what's coming up next for you in the year 2025, all these great things about you that you got going on. So after the countdown, the platform is yours.
Hey y'all, again, this is Daphney Hilton. And listen, you can reach me at daphneyhilton.com. Y'all, all of my social media is Daphney Hilton. I got a new single I'm dropping from my title track, The Way You Made Me, not The Way You Made, I'm sorry, y'all, Who I Am. So I do have a new single coming soon. Y'all, thank y'all for just hanging out with me and Miss Nikki. It has been awesome. So again, daphneyhilton.com. Daphney, Daphney with the Y, Hilton, like the Hilton Hotel. Just Google me and I should pop up.
She held some of the good things coming. I know that's right. We got to move in silence around here. I tell everybody that, so you got to move in silence. Can't tell everything going on in your life because you don't want nobody to push you off your tracks. But thank you so much for accepting my invitation. We had a great conversation today. You made my day, my whole entire day. You made my day.
This was
so
good.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
All right, and thank you so much to everybody else that's out there looking at this amazing episode of Miss Daphney. Y'all know y'all enjoyed it. Y'all know y'all did. Y'all got to make sure y'all follow her journey because she's doing some amazing things on this journey. So thank you, Miss Daphney Hilton, for being a powerful voice on today's episode. Your dedication to music, ministry, and empowering the next generation is so inspiring. So thank you, everyone out there that's looking at this episode, for tuning into another powerful episode of Breaking the Silence. Today, we've heard an incredible voice of inspiration, courage, and empowerment. So remember, your voice matters. And together, I say this all the time, together, we can continue to break the silence one story at a time. So until next time, stay inspired, stay strong, and keep empowering others to share their truth too. Later, everyone.
Hey, this your girl, Poetically Sincere. I just want to say I did a podcast interview not too long ago with author Nikki Nicole, and I must say it was amazing, okay? All the way down to the detail. Organization, on time. I love a person that's on time. We can get to business. But she did great. Questions, making me feel comfortable enough to even talk to her, and open up and share. So I'm telling you, if you ever thinking about doing this podcast with her, she is the wave. Check her out. Go check out her podcast. Go subscribe to it. I'm all Nikki Nicole, okay? And yeah.